Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Al-Haynawa Yahweh Achad Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Al-Haynawa Yahweh Achad Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Al-Haynawa Yahweh Achad Bracket Yahweh, Bracket Yahweh Shai, Bracket Yahweh, Bracket Yahweh Shai, Bracket Yahweh, Bracket Yahweh Shai, Bahasara Kakodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. I also want to say peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. It was a high spirit we in Judah. Today, I want to go into a topic entitled Be the Turtle. Be the Turtle. All right. And the reason why I'm going into this topic, something that was heavy on my spirit within the past week, was the journey that I've been on for a while. But I think mainly the last 8 years, I had a path in my journey in this truth, right? In which I've evolved in this path. And the scripture that I have in mind is, I would like to say, Sirach the 11th chapter, where it goes into a man who toils and labors and still is behind. When I think about some of the demons that I made an effort to conquer, I thought about certain spiritual goals that I've had in this truth, or that I may have fallen, not may have, that I've definitely fallen short of, spiritual heights that I believe that I've reached in just to go down, and habits that I thought that I conquered and they seep back up, they crept back up, all right? And I dealt with this spirit of being defeated for a while, or even mistakes that I've made in life, all right? Mistakes in the flesh, decisions that I've made, that I had to suffer for, all right, are things that mindsets that I had that hindsight hindered me, all right. And like I said, the past 8 years was a chapter in my life in this truth, where I realized it's not about conquering something and letting it go for good. It's not about completing a task and perfecting it the first time. It's not about winning a race. All right? It's about finishing the marathon. Because it's not a race. It's not a sprint run. It's a marathon. It's ultimately a journey. Now, in this truth, the journey is the truth. But even in life, we have a journey. And the journey is not completed until you ascend back to the Heavenly Father. But in this truth, it's a spiritual journey. It's a spiritual warfare. It's a spiritual battle. All right. But what I've learned, going back to the beginning of what I was talking about, between the highs and lows of being in this truth, all right, letting go of poor habits, or relapsing from into poor habits, or reaching certain goals, then falling from those goals in the spirit, all right, being stronger, then being weaker, all right, or having a level of structure and discipline, but then falling short of that structure and discipline, and living with the grief in your spirit of not being able to stay at a high point, you see? And what I've learned looking back, like I said, particularly the past 8 years, but ultimately, after the first or second year being in this truth and becoming more of a disciplinarian, I say around the second year of being in this truth, all right? It doesn't really matter how many years I've been in here, but just the span of time. Now I've been in the truth for at least long enough to have a chapter that I can look back at. I can look back at my spiritual self, my soul in this journey, and I can make an assessment, all right, of my behavior, of my character, of my growth, of the mistakes that I've made and what it means to evolve, all right? And what I've learned when I look back at it all is that I have to be the turtle. When we were young, most of us was presented a story, all right, called The Tortoise and the Hare, all right? And they were both in a race. Now, the details of the story is kind of vague, but just I remember generally that the hare or the rabbit was naturally fast because of his species. But because he knew he was much faster than the turtle, he was more arrogant. And because he was more arrogant, he believed he could take breaks, he could chill, he could do whatever, all right? But the turtle, being a turtle, all right, he wasn't arrogant, he knew he was slower, but he was more patient. And I believe in certain stories, the turtle may have turned over in his shell and it had to turn back over. But ultimately, because it was a race of patience and endurance, the turtle won. And what I realized is that you have to be the turtle. That's what I realized when I look back in my spirit, I look back in my soul. I look back at my path and my intentions of being, without certain flaws or being without certain habits that I had to struggle with or have to struggle with. And I realized the grief that I was causing upon myself was a result of attempting to be perfect. But something that was said in the movie, The Equalizer, by Denzel's character in the first Equalizer, when he was talking to his coworker, all right, was that it's progression, not perfection. It's about progression and not perfection. And when you set your path in this truth and you begin your path in this truth, and like it speaks about in Luke, how you have to count the cost. All right, now in your personal life is going to come with difficulties. It's going to come with challenges. It's going to come with your own hell. And pursuant to 2 Corinthians, the 12th chapter, the Most High is going to personally send you Satan to have to deal with. Now, this truth wasn't designed for you to become perfect by waking up to the knowledge and now you're literally perfect. It was designed for you to become perfected. You didn't wake up to this truth and become perfect. You wake up to this truth to become perfected, meaning you're going to be perfected, all right, through your journey, through your experiences, through your trials. Okay? But one thing that I've elevated from was a sprint runner's mindset. And within the sprint run, that's a race. You can't afford to trip over your left foot. You can't afford the sprain your ankle. You can't, because you already lost. So certain things that I slipped from, certain habits that I may have relapsed into, certain poor decisions that I've made, I didn't understand the nature of the race. So I thought when I failed or when I slipped, I hit a low point, I felt defeated in my mind. Not realizing that if you're still breathing, then you're still competing. If you're still breathing, then you're still competing. All right? And it's all because you slipped or deviated from your standards, all because you made mistakes, all right? Whether it hurt you in the flesh and or the spirit, all right? That doesn't mean you're defeated. Because if you're still breathing, you're still competing. All right? In a race, you make a mistake, you're most likely gonna lose. But in a marathon, the nature of it is to get back up and keep pursuing, keep running. Remember the path of the turtle, all right? Hypothetically speaking, the turtle has the ability to get back up. But the turtle also has the ability to have endurance. So to go back into the theme of what I'm talking about, it's not about you being a perfectionist. It's not about you being perfect and not making mistakes or even conquering your mistakes or conquering your flaws. That's the intention, but the purpose is to get the fuck back up. That's the champion. That's the champion. The champion ain't the man, ain't the brother that is undefeated. The champion is the man who could bounce back from defeat. Do you have the skill, the mindset to get back up? That's the fucking champion. You see? So when I look back my journey in this truth, the error, the flaw that I had in my thinking was the intention to not make mistakes further along in this truth, to not fall for these vices and these poor habits, all right, that I was making an effort to overcome. But the error that I had in my mindset was, okay, I'm gonna overcome it and call it a day. When it was wise to accept in my path to overcoming certain things, I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm also going to recover from those mistakes. I'm also going to have a plan of action to recover from those mistakes, all right, and forgive myself and get back up. Because we are battling demons, we are battling Satan, and you're not going to win every battle. In this war against America, this war against Babylon, the war against our minds, the war against our natures, the war against our flesh, the war against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? Who control these frequencies, who send thoughts in certain mindsets, certain way in your subconscious to change the way you think. You're going to lose some fucking battles, man. All right. I was thinking about certain companies, right? When they put a product on the shelf, all right, the first year, a lot of times the first couple of years that they make money, that money is going back to, that money is really funded for lawsuits, because they already scaled out or counted the cost and considered that we're going to have lawsuits with this product that we're putting out. So when the company first put a product on the shelf, all right, a lot of times the money they make the first year, all right, they put money back because they already know they have to put up a defense for lawsuits. And I think about our spirits, man, and this race that we're competing in. All right, before you start this race, you already got to put up tools, all right, in your mind. You got to put up systems in your mind to bounce back when I lose. It says, if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off. But you might, part of the war in your life, in this truth, is cutting off that thing that offends you, man. You know? So you have to already accept, I'm gonna lose a battle or two. So that's the nature of being in this flesh. All right. And the men who didn't lose battles, or they never reported losing a battle, my first couple years came into the truth, and like, you didn't hear about them struggling with nothing. They didn't last, because the system is designed for ultimately you to stay humble. What did the Apostle Paul say in the NLT, 2 Corinthians, the 12th chapter? It said, roughly paraphrasing, so I wouldn't become proud, the Most High allowed Satan, all right, to buffet me. He sent the messenger of Satan to buffet me. And I think Apostle Paul struggled with a sickness. That sickness was part of his life. But some of us, we're going to have things that we're not. Some of us, we're all going to have different things we got to battle. But there's no strength without resistance. And that's the beauty in the darkness. The beauty within the darkness is there's no strength without resistance. So if you don't have nothing to battle, how do you become stronger? How do you become battle tested if you don't have nothing to test you? You don't have nothing to challenge you, because what do they say? If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. All right. Verse 24 and 16. For a just man falleth 7 times and rises up again, but the wicked fall into mischief. So what is the sum of this lesson? Don't expect to win the war without losing a couple battles. Learn how to fight all while you're having different things you're battling, man. Learn how to recover. Don't expect to be perfect. Expect to learn how to recover from your imperfections, because the nature of the law of man is to make mistakes. The number of man is what? 6, which is 1 short of what? 7. The number of the beast is what? 666, which is a number of man. So what's the nature of man that separates them from the nature of the Heavenly Father or the angels? They're imperfect. Man is imperfect. Roll with the punches. Like I said, it took years. It took time for me to mature in this truth, and I'm still maturing, to where I can forgive myself and accept battle losses. Because I'm one of them brothers that's extremely hard on themselves, man. But you can't plan. And so you brothers know what I'm talking about, some of the personal things we battle. But even if it's not all that personal, man, don't be hard when you the fact that you're fighting in a war and you making an effort to stop whatever you're doing, that's beautiful. But don't be hard on yourself when you slip. Just have tools of recovery. Because if you're still breathing, you're still competing. That's how that works. It's not a race. It's a marathon. Ultimately, it's a journey. I would never, and I speak in my own opinion, I would never consider Floyd Mayweather the greatest fighter, the greatest boxer. I think he's probably the greatest defensive fighter, but he's never experienced defeat. He's never experienced defeat within his profession. And he's dodged fights, like with Manny Pacquiao. He's dodged fights with certain elite fighters, ultimately to protect his legacy, but he never experienced defeat. So a true champion, in my opinion, is not a boxer or a fighter who's never experienced defeat, but one who bounced back from defeat, one who never fucking ran from the competition. That's why I would think Muhammad Ali is like a true champion, because him being a heavyweight fighter, he fought Goliaths. He fought George Foreman. All right, he fought, what's my man name with the left hook? He fought George Foreman. I was just thinking about him this morning. I can't think of his name. But you know what I'm talking about, back in the 70s with the left hook. All right. Basically, he fought giants with powerful punches, which ultimately led to his, I want to say he had Parkinson's, you know? Joe Frazier. These were not tomato fighters. These were not trash fighters. He rose to the occasion. He was really getting pounded. He was really set him up for Pyrrhic victories. Victories in which he took a lot of punches and a lot of pain, but ultimately came back on top. All right? But a true champion is one that knows how to recover from defeat. And I'm the Wadi Yahweh Basham Shai that I finally evolved above. I finally elevated above this mindset of feeling defeated when I lose a battle, man. Because I scale my battles differently now. I'm already expecting losses, you know? But that's not to make excuses, you know, for those little private wars that you have. But it's to learn how to win in the long run. Because I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say you said, I'm gonna stop eating junk food. You know, I got high blood pressure, I got diabetes, I got different things going on. For example, you said I'm gonna stop eating junk food. You prayed about it, you fasted. So let's say you went 3 months without eating junk food. You feel better, your mind is clearer, you have more energy. It's like, damn, man, I feel like I'm on top. Next thing you know, you get these cravings that come out of nowhere. You go to a friend's house or a relative's house. Joe Frazier, the water brother. You go to a friend's house, a relative's house, and you slip. And you pig the fuck out. You eat them Cheetos. Man, got some Twinkies. You ain't had Twinkies since you was back in the world. It's like, what the fuck? Eating Cheetos, some Twinkies and shit. Remember I got that Kool-Aid? You know damn well you don't drink no Kool-Aid. You drunk it that day, they're like you're a demon, you know what I mean? But then afterwards, you know, you got a headache, got a stomach ache or some shit. But most importantly, you feel like shit spiritually, because it's like, damn, I declined. She was like, damn, I fell short of this thing that was making me feel sluggish, that was taking me out of the spirit. It was making me sick. I know I have these underlying ailments, and I still slip, and I feel like shit. But what you gotta understand is you are gonna lose the battle in a war against you. In a war against you, you're gonna lose a couple battles. So instead of being hard on yourself, like, damn, I made it this far just to be defeated. No, you have to look at it like, I made it this far, let me recover, all right? Might have to go on a water cleanse for a day or two, whatever, and get back on. If I could go back to some of the things I've done, like certain eating regimens that I've had to help me in the spirit, certain areas of discipline that I've had, if I could go back and just recover, instead, you know, and then I stop or whatever, right? But when I stop, it'll take a long time to get back into that regimen, because I had a defeated mindset. Like, man, I made it this far. I went 5 months without doing this. I went 3 months without doing it, or eating this or doing that. Then I stopped for whatever reason, and it might take me another year before I get back in that mindset to start the regimen. Well, really, all I could have did was accept it as a low point and start preparing my mind to get back on it. But I didn't have a journey mindset at that time. I didn't have a marathon mindset at that time. Apparently, I had a sprint run mindset. And I hope dearly that this live stream means something to you, brothers and sisters. You know? Because what you're gonna find out is all about your mindset and how you think and the way you interpret things. I'm gonna give you an example. 1 second. Now check this out. Got us a ladybug. For example, I'm at the park, right? Kind of like it's kind of like I'm in a journey, right? This is me. This is the park. This is the trail. And I put this stick right in front of me. So in this journey that we're in, you can interpret this stick being in front of me 2 different ways. All right? You can interpret this stick being in front of me 2 different ways. You can say this stick is a sign that you're supposed to stop the journey. Like, oh, it's a stick in front of me. I guess I'm supposed to stop the journey and just turn around and go back. Or you can interpret it as a detour. I just have to go around a stick. You see? But that mindset will change. It will change and alter your life in its truth. And you look at the stick in the spirit like, well, I guess it's a sign that, you know, I'm supposed to turn around. Or do you see that stick in front of you like, how do I navigate? I didn't see this stick coming, but how do I navigate through this? How do I adjust my mind and work around this stick? And you choosing which mindset you're gonna have is gonna determine, all right, how your life will work around you. You see, I'm just speaking from my own process. All right, in the journey of growth and elevation and bettering yourself, whether it's the spirit, the flesh, you're gonna run into sticks in the road. And what I've learned, that is part of the journey. You see? Stumbling blocks, it's a part of the journey. Detours, it's a part of the journey. Setbacks, it's a part of the journey. Relapsing, it's a part of the journey. Correction, part of the journey. Proof, part of the journey. Losing is a part of the journey. Losing is a part of winning. Scare yourself to win in the long run. So you brothers that you on a weight loss journey, all right, don't scare yourself to lose 40 pounds in 2 weeks. Don't scare yourself to be a sprint runner. All right, meaning, all All right, I'm finna let go of this. I'm gonna stop eating that. I'm gonna start running every day. Then one day, when you relapse, you don't get the fuck back on. You so defeated. Oh, let me get some more examples. You so defeated in your journey that you actually stop walking in your journey. Now I'm on a bench. Now I'm on a bench. Now I'm on a bench. You so defeated in your journey that you stop walking, as opposed to getting back on the journey. All right. Instead of being hard on yourself, like, man, why did I go so long without praying? I was praying every day. What happened? And you just hard on yourself, just overly self-sabotaging. Why did I go so long without reading? Damn, man. Nah, when you realize what you've done, because what does it say in the scriptures? Roughly paraphrasing, a wise man know when he's slipping. Except the fact it's part of the nature of you. But your greatness comes from your get back. All right, your greatness comes from your recovery. It doesn't come from being perfect. All right, because perfection make your ass proud. If you start something the first time and you are successful and you never had low points, which low points keep you humble, failure keeps you humble, you're gonna look at other brothers like, oh, that brother ain't trying hard enough. He ain't doing what he's supposed to do. That brother this, the brother's lazy. Nah, it's a fucking journey, man. All right. So, what I've learned, part of your craft is having a means to get back up. Part of that craft, and what's really makes you a man of your craft, because this truth is a craft. Part of your craft is having a system, but knowing how to recover once you get behind. And that goes for any job that I've worked. Any job that I've worked. One thing that I was trained to learn, especially this one particular job, he was like, you really a good worker when you know how to catch yourself back up. I worked on a production line, all right, a car production line, and the man that was training me was like, you're really not a good production worker unless you know how to catch yourself back up, because sometimes you can get behind, but all because you got behind, the production line didn't stop. So you're not a good worker if you just know how to work. You're really a good worker, all right, when you know how to get behind and catch yourself back up. Now you have a skill set. Because as a human, as a man, you either A, gonna make mistakes, or B, unexpected things gonna happen. So whether your setback is gonna be either internal, from an internal position, so just your own way of thinking and moving, or something external, something outside of your control. But you're a man of your skill. You have a strategy to get back up. All right. Proverbs 16:18. Pride go before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. All right. So part of your journey, all right, and one of the things you need to take with you along with your journey is your spiritual toolkit for recovery. All right, you know, okay, I'm gonna slip. That's the nature of you. That's the nature of me. All right. Another job I was training in, another system that I was being trained in, that was basically saying a good worker is not gonna set himself up to do everything perfect. A good worker is just gonna know how to recover from his mistakes. You know, and that was golden experience, because when I was being trained to do this particular maneuver perfectly. But it's like a good worker is not somebody that does everything perfect. What makes him a good worker is that he knows how to recover when he does it the wrong way, when he makes a mistake. And I'm seeing these patterns in every institution I was in, every organization or job workforce environment I was in. All right. The key, that's why I said, remember the way of the turtle. Remember the way of the turtle. Be the turtle. Don't be because the race is not given to the what? The race is not given to the swift. This is a race of endurance, man. And I can truly say this is something I've evolved And within this, in this truth, man, is a knowing how to recover, because Yahweh Shai is perfect. The Most High is perfect. We're not perfect. We're perfect in our eyes, but we're still, it says what? We have this treasure in earthen vessels. And part of the nature of being a human is that you are flawed and we are flawed. But part of that makes you great because of your effort. Your effort doing this in flesh. And I be willing we endure to the end. All right. Part of the reason why it was so honorable that we stood so stiffly for the word, because we had to go against our flesh to do it. All right. But hey, remember the word of turtle, and the turtle can turn itself over from its shell, theoretically speaking. That's the nature, man. It's that person that can flip themselves back over, man. All right, not the person that is perfect and speedy and they can do it right the first time, because that makes you arrogant. It's not about doing it right the first time. It's not about winning every time. It's about bouncing back and winning in the long run, and scaling yourself to win in the long run. Our generational wealth back in the old country was set up for our nation to win in the long run. Those arranged marriages, those having an inheritance for your firstborn, all those things were set up for your nation and your people to win in the long run. In contrast, in America, you're set up to win in the short run, win in the short term, all right, and lose in the long run. That's why you have casual dating. That's why you have fast food. That's why you have just consumerism, materialism. But which one? Well, what happens? What's the result? You lose in the long run. You frustrated because you can't find someone that works with you, or that partner. All right, you sick, you unhealthy because of instant gratification and poor choices food wise. All right, because of consumerism, you get this instant gratification of buying things for a short thrill, but now you're facing with debt, facing with credit card debt and all this other stuff. So this system was set up for you to lose in the long run. All right, but our system, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai, it was set up for you to win in the long run, man, and just start scaling yourself to win in the long run, and already accept and prepare for short-term losses and setbacks along the way. Expect to have internal setbacks that's rooted in an internal cause in you. It accept to have setbacks is rooted in things out of your control. But with that, I will bring this live stream to a closing. I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I would like to give out honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaKadosh. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessing, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Be the turtle. Be the turtle. All right, with that, till the next time, shalom.